Pointed in this. We've got a good team that we're going to go play this next week, so we'll learn from this and we'll move on. But again, disappointed. Time yours.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you for joining us on this Monday, December 11th, 2023. Today on the show, we have plenty of post-game sound, locker room sound after the Chiefs lose to the Buffalo Bills 20-17 at 7 o'clock. Todd Lebo will be in here. Todd and I were at Arrowhead Stadium yesterday covering the game for Sports Radio 810 in the locker room, and then in the press conference room, where part of the ceiling fell on us during Chris Jones' press conference. We'll talk about that when Todd gets in here. It was quite a day/night out at Arrowhead Stadium. So, Catherine Tappan, who joins us every week at 8 o'clock, she'll be with us. Also, Chase Daniel, our Monday morning quarterback at 8:30. And then Bill Moss, former Chiefs offensive or defensive lineman, will be with us at 9:05. Yeah. So you heard some of the highlights and lowlights from the game yesterday. You heard one broadcast crew reference the fact that the Chiefs now have a one-game lead in the AFC West, as they are 8-5, and the Broncos are 7-6. If the Dolphins go ahead and win tonight, then the Chiefs will be 2 games behind 2 different teams for the number 1 seed, and so that doesn't that no longer looks promising. So it looks like the Chiefs will have to play in the first round of the playoffs, and then possibly go on the road if they're able to win that first game. Go on the road and play in the divisional round. But you know what? We shouldn't even talk about that right now, man. The Chiefs are struggling. They're a struggling football team. They lose another close game at home. They lose another game where they have the football in their hands with a chance to win it at the end, or at least tie it, and they couldn't get it done. They lost their 3 out of their last 4 games and 4 out of their last 6. And here we are talking about the Chiefs losing to the Bills. And I hate to say this, but that is not far off from what I expected yesterday at Arrowhead. I told you all week long that I did not like this matchup. Had a bad feeling about this game because the Bills were coming off a bye week. The Bills are a desperate team with their backs up against the wall. And the Bills, I know you are what your record says you are, but the Bills are not a 500 team. The Bills are too talented to be jacking around the 500 mark. And they were going to come in here, and you were going to get the Bills' best shot. And hey, look, before you knew it, it was 14-0. And that's another example of the Chiefs getting off to a slow start. The defense not looking good. The offense not able to move the football. Not able to score when they do move the football. Turnovers, penalties, mental errors. That's how the game began, and then that's how the game ended. Penalties, mistakes, mental errors. And so they dug a hole. The defense, after giving up those 2 quick touchdowns, I thought played really, really well for the rest of the day. They gave, stop me if you've heard this before, they gave the Chiefs offense every opportunity to win the game. Look, I've covered that game. I've covered that loss 3 times now this year. 21-20 to the Lions, 21-17 to the Eagles, 20-17 to the Bills. Remarkably similar. I've covered that game 3 times now, where we come in here and I can't believe he dropped that pass. I can't believe he committed that penalty. I can't believe he threw that football. I can't believe this. I can't believe that. Why weren't they on the same page? I mean, how is this any different than what happened week 1? How is this any different than what happened against the Eagles? How is this any different than what happened against the Bills? I can't believe they made that call. I can't believe they didn't make that call. Why is the officiating so inconsistent? Why are we blaming the officials when the Chiefs make enough mistakes for everybody? I mean, look, it's almost the same score, too. 21-20, 21-17, 20-17. We talked about this last week. How do you feel when the Chiefs had the football at the end of the game with a chance to win it? Do you feel good? Do you feel confident? Do you feel like they're going to get it done? Or do you feel like there's going to be some horrific mistake that robs them of the opportunity to win the game? I told you, for the first time in the Mahomes era, my confidence is rattled. I said this last week when we talked about this. I no longer expect them, with the ball in their hands at the end of the game, to win it. I expect some ridiculous mistake, some mental error. I expect a big drop. I expect the officials to miss a call, or the Chiefs to commit a penalty, or something to happen. And I'm not telling you that I don't believe in Patrick Mahomes anymore, or I don't believe in Andy Reid anymore. No, now I'm conditioned. I expect something to happen out of the ordinary that will prevent them from going on a game-winning drive. Did that fit the bill yesterday? Sure it did. We saw what could have been one of the most, and by the way, even if they score that touchdown, there's still over a minute left. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that call prevented the Chiefs from winning. That call prevented the Chiefs from taking the lead. And so there was over a minute left. And the Bills would have had every opportunity to turn right around and win the game. But that could have been one of the greatest plays in Chiefs history or Arrowhead history, or at least in the regular season. That play was spectacular. Had a great view of it up in the press box. Watched everything unfold. It was a joy to watch. It was a joy to be able to sit there and see that happen. And Travis Kelce's wide open, and then he turns and he fires a perfect pass across the field to Kadarius Toney, who scampered into the end zone. But watching everything and seeing everything and that's the great thing about sitting up in the press box, is way up there, but you see it all. As soon as the ball snapped, you see the flag. Okay? So then you caution yourself, whatever, because I really didn't get too overly excited when the touchdown happened, because you see the flag. And the flag was so quick, you knew it was offsides. Right? And I'm thinking, well, hopefully someone on the Buffalo side lined up in the neutral zone. I don't know. But it was too quick to be holding. You see, you knew something, someone had lined up incorrectly, whatever. So the play happens. And the whole time, Lebo is next to me. I don't think Todd, he might correct me, saw the flag right away. He was marveling at the play, and I kept saying, flag, 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 flag. And then you see the flag. And then you hear the call that Jake played in the intro that Kadarius Toney was offside. Like, are you kidding me? And look, man, I've never, and I tweeted this out, and I don't know how much they showed on TV as it was happening. Mahomes, when you're at Arrowhead, you see when he comes out of the tunnel and he kind of does that, he's doing that hop up and down, like he's all hyped up, or he's running and he's hopping back and forth. Right when he was coming off the field, right after the fourth down incompletion, he's hopping up and down like he's coming out of the tunnel, trying to get everyone hyped up. and then he rips his helmet off. And he goes after the officials. He starts screaming at the officials. And there are multiple teammates that are grabbing him and holding him back. It was, fresh off watching that George Brett documentary. And it wasn't to that level, but it at least made me think, is this his Pine Tar George Brett moment? I mean, there are several teammates holding him back. And he's screaming, and he's animated, and he's going after the officials. And it continues until they finally kind of drag him over to the sideline and try to get him under control. And then you see the video now of him out there shaking hands. We can play that, but you have to clean it up. He's out there shaking hands with Josh Allen. He's dropping F-bombs to Josh Allen about how bad the call was. Un-effing believable. Can you effing believe that? And he's just not letting up, right? And then he was steaming in the locker room. And he wasn't happy eventually when he went to the podium. And so when we go down there outside the locker room, so they tell you, I've told you, how this works again, but I'll tell you again just because to put everything in proper context. You go down and you line up outside the locker room and wait for them to open up the locker room so you can get in there and try to talk to some players. You know that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are going to go to the podium in the interview room, so you can't talk to Patrick Mahomes in the locker room. Andy Reid's not in the locker room. He'll walk through at some point. But then Brad G or someone else from the Chiefs will yell out what players are going to be made available at the podium. Those players you can't talk to in the locker room because they're going to be made available to the podium because either they had a big game or whatever. And so last night it was the Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, Chris Jones at the podium after coach. Everyone else, fair game. So then when you're in the locker room, you can't talk to Chris Jones, you can't talk to Rashee Rice, you can't talk to Patrick Mahomes. So take those off the list. I don't know if I need better glasses or whatever, but I sure couldn't find any wide receivers. I mean, Rashee Rice is sitting right there. You can't talk to Rashee Rice because he's going to the podium. I saw MVS for a while getting dressed with his back turned to the media and quickly let everyone know that he would not be speaking to the media. Okay, well, whatever. It's a player's choice. Will they talk or will they not? Not interested. I couldn't have found Kadarius Toney if you paid me. Everybody was camped out around his locker. I didn't see Sky Moore, and anyone that did Lebo can correct. He was in there for a little bit before he went into the interview room to talk to the players at the podium. I didn't see. I saw MVS for a little bit. He said he wasn't talking, and I saw Rashee Rice before he went to the podium. I didn't see anyone else. Now, when a player does talk, and especially yesterday, it's like wolves feeding on tiny bits of flesh. We're all in there to do the same job, is to get some sound from players, to get some comments from players. And again, having gone through this a couple of times already in heartbreaking or very difficult losses, there's not going to be very many players talking. And so there's not much to get. And you had a lot of media in there yesterday. And so if someone looks like they're getting ready to talk, and let me tell you, my fat ass was in there like running. I go, Willie Gay, and you better get there because there's 30 or 35 people, and if you don't get in position, you ain't getting that sound. And I hauling ass and running to the others. Looked like Willie Gay probably thought I was running to him. Like, what's this guy doing? But that's fine. I had to get in there. And one of the few times being short helps me. So I get up in there and, get my phone and my microphone in there. And so while I'm engaged with Willie Gay talking and everyone else, maybe a receiver came in, stuck in there, got his jacket and left or whatever. There were some players lined up to get out of there before the media got it. Because there's about a 15-minute cooling down period, right? When they get off the field before the media can get in there. And some players get out of there in time. They know. Hey, media's getting ready to get in here. Gone. Back door out. Willie Gay spoke. Justin Reed always talks. He talked. Trent McDuffie talked for a while. Wanye Morris spoke to the media. Jet McKinnon was one of the few players on the offense that was available to speak. After that, that was really it. You know? Mahomes was super pissed off. We waited out around Travis Kelce's locker patiently as he got dressed, painstakingly I don't know, probably 10 minutes as he very methodically got dressed. We're waiting because last time he did talk, even though it was a loss. And so then finally, someone said, "Can we get 30 seconds, Trav?" And he said, "Nope." He goes, "But you all have a good night." And he walked off. So Kelce was in there, but chose not to speak, and that's their choice, right? He wasn't talking. But man, let me tell you, there were some mad people in that locker room. And then if you listen to Andy Reid, and look, Lebo asks more questions usually than almost anyone at press conferences, and he usually asks questions nobody else wants to ask, or the uncomfortable questions. And Andy Reid's getting pissed off at him, and I don't think he was even like he was asking like a innocent question about the play that never was the play between Travis Kelce and Kadarius Toney. I think he asked something, like was that drawn up, or was that whatever? That's something we're all thinking. Like was that designed? Was that supposed to happen? Was it freelance or whatever? Was that ad-libbed out there? And Andy Reid got mad that he asked that question, and then he got mad at someone else asked a question he didn't like. He was busy saying that it was embarrassing for the NFL. Mahomes, you heard him talking at the podium. If you haven't, he was mad about that play, saying they took a big play away from the resume of Travis Kelce's Hall of Fame career. He went in. I have not seen Andy Reid and or Patrick Mahomes this angry. They should be. But let me tell you something, all right? Kadarius Toney was offside, all right? And we would love to – I'm watching more video of Mahomes being held back. Wow, that's crazy. I was listening to some of the national media driving home and then in the morning criticizing Mahomes like, hey, you can't be mad at the officials because they called a penalty on a guy that was clearly lined up incorrectly. You can't be mad just because it erased a really cool play. Yeah, the play was awesome. The play was fantastic. But Kadarius Toney wasn't lined up properly. Be mad at Kadarius Toney. Ask him why in the month of December are we still dealing with mistakes and mental errors that should have been corrected and fixed either in St. Joseph, Missouri, or the first week of the season? Why? Why are we on December 10th talking about Kadarius Toney losing a football game for the Chiefs just like we did week 1 after the loss to the Lions? We've seen that Mahomes isn't going to throw his teammates under the bus, but be mad at Kadarius Toney, who had a big drop earlier in the game too. What are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? I think it's a fair question for anyone to ask Kadarius Toney. Hey, what are you doing? Why? And Mahomes was mad because it had nothing to do with the play and all that. Yeah, all those things are correct. But he was offside. I mean, what do you want to do? The officials, when he threw the flag, didn't know they were going to be erasing a game-winning play. You can't act like they waited to see the touchdown, then do the Let's screw the Chiefs out of this one.
Should they have taken the penalty away? Well, that was a
Right,
great
well,
play, so let's not call it.
Right. They didn't know. The flag was thrown immediately. And then the play happened.
That is a great point.
You know? Because as soon as it happened, flag thrown, and that's why I was like, oh, that's a great play, but there's a flag. I hope it's on Buffalo. The flag was on the ground. So, like what does Mahomes expect the officials to do? He was offsides, but boy, that play was awesome. No penalty. I mean, one thing if they threw the flag after the touchdown was scored, like, we don't want that to happen. But it's like they threw the flag was thrown. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. I mean, I guess they could do whatever they want. They could, and normally they do. They could have all got together and, there was no penalty. We, discussed it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, the frustration is boiling over from last week, from the Eagles game, from this season. And he did say last week after the Packers game, he's not going to blame the officials for the non-call and the pass interference against MVS because he wants the players to decide the game. Let us play. Remember he said that? Mm-hmm. Because that's what I want him, And so then he said, well, I didn't say anything last week, because I want them to let us play. And so that's what I wanted this week. Let us play. Let us decide the game. Again, they threw the flag before the play developed and happened. So I want the players to decide the game too, so then line up properly.
Right.
Line up correctly. So one guy from CBS tweet out that he saw Kadarius Toney look over and point to the official and check where he was, whatever. But does he really? I mean, is this? I mean, does it surprise? Honestly, does it surprise you that Kadarius Toney was the one to make this mistake?
If you had told me, hey, which guy? This is what happened. Which guy do you think it would be? That would be your first guess.
So, I mean, we got lots of post-game sound. Todd will get in here. We're in there talking to Chris Jones. And then part of the ceiling falls on us. And there was like a really heavy piece of metal that if it would have landed on Todd's head or anyone's head, whatever, it'd have been some bad news in there. Mm. So I didn't know what was going on. I just happened to have my phone out, and I was recording. And I don't have a great. I mean, I don't know what happened, And I put my arm up like this, and then something hit me because I had that, whatever dust all over my arm. I felt something hit me. I don't know if it was a metal piece. Here you go.
I feel the same thing. I feel about y'all have a good day.
Keep going.
Y'all good? Hey, man. Straight? You good? We straight? We good? Isn't that it? We out. All right.
I got that on camera, dude. And so, and Chris Jones, we were still talking to Chris Jones.
He was like, I'm out of
here. The session was like, Chris Jones goes, that's pretty much how I feel about this game, Y'all have a good night. Gone.
Yeah. Peace.
That was so bizarre.
You can hear that metal, man.
I'm like, what am I?
Y'all have a good day.
Y'all have a good day. I'm like, what? I'm looking to leave. I'm like, what's going on?
Y'all straight? Y'all good? Hey, man. Straight? You good? We straight? We good? Isn't that it?
It was me.
We out. All right.
I got Todd and PJ Green sitting together. And maybe PJ saved Todd's life. I don't know. He had good reflexes. I put my arm up like this. I don't know what happened. I claimed to save Todd on social media because that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Steve Walls bailed out. He ran out of there. You see in the video. I didn't know what was going on. I heard a loud noise. I saw things falling. What the hell's going on, It's not what I'm expecting. Because I've got my camera out and I'm recording because I'm getting ready to ask Chris Jones a question. And before I get the question, you hear and hear a woman kind of scream. I'm like, what? I instinctively put my arm.
I mean, whatever that metal thing was, you can hear it land.
Dude, it
if
was
that
heavy.
lands on somebody.
No,
ooh,
it was
boy.
heavy.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Y'all straight? Y'all good? You straight?
Man.
You good?
The game that I covered, there was
Isn't
like
that
a
it?
water pipe that burst up in that ceiling. Something's going on in that
That's all I
ceiling,
said.
man.
I said, Todd, that was the last interview. I know, but it's time to leave.
Time to get out.
It's a microcosm
Let's
of this
go.
season.
Let's go. For the people that have been acting like the sky is falling at Arrowhead,
Right.
perhaps you were right. And I'm the one that's been wrong.
At least the ceiling's falling.
Okay,
We know
I'm
that.
just glad that I wasn't hurt or maimed last
Oh
night.
man.
I'm glad I'm here just to talk about this stupid game and play some post-game sound. And that's what we'll do after this on Sports Radio 810 WHP. Hello there, Kansas City. Stephen St. John here for my good friends at Pajamagram. How about this? Pajamagram is always a great choice for a Christmas or holiday gift for that special someone. I know that my wife's going to be very excited when she sees what's under the tree this year. That's right, Pajamagram again. She loves them, and you'll love them. Because if you get Pajamagram for that special someone, you will hit a home run this Christmas. Pajamagram's famous naturally nude pajamas will make you a holiday hero. So good, they sell out every year, so do not wait. Naturally nude pajamas are known for ultimate comfort and style, so soft and silky, better than lingerie with a curve caressing fit. And here's the kicker. When you order Naturally Nude pajamas today, you'll get a free Naturally Nude nightie. That's right, $75 savings on a very luxurious 2-in-1 complete gift. And better yet, with Pajamagram, you can even add gift packaging. We're all pissed off because of the loss yesterday. All right, so take something off your plate and go to Pajamagram.com and order the Naturally Nude pajamas, get the free nightie, and they'll wrap the gift, and then you're done, son. Put that gift under the tree and wait till Christmas morning, and better yet, Christmas night. Wear that Santa suit and you will be happy. So why not go to Pajamagram.com today for Naturally Nude pajamas before they sell out? That's Naturally Nude pajamas at Pajamagram.com and tell them SSJ sent you.
Man, they make mistakes, but I mean, it's every week we're talking about something, and all I can do is go out there and give everything I have, and I'm proud of the guys because that's what we did, and it was a great football game that ended, another great football game that just ended like that. It's just tough to swallow.
You were a topic of conversation a couple of times in the press box, by the way.
Oh no.
There was one, I can't remember, one play, one drive ended with a Von Miller pressure. And someone taps you on the shoulder, I turn around, and it was Jesse Newell. He goes, "Did you do that? Did you see that? Remind me of this. Was this going to come up with Nate on Thursday?" I said, "Okay, I got you." So Jesse Newell was thinking of you. And then, there was a few people that said, "Nate nervous about this game?" Yes, I don't know what he is. I don't know where he is. I'm sure he might be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Leave me alone.
Well, Von Miller had 0 tackles, 0
Right.
sacks in the game. He had a couple pressures. I will admit, obviously, I was wrong. I undersold the Chiefs' ability to shoot themselves in the foot and the ability of these wide receivers to sabotage the entire season.
But the other thing
I
we
should
are
have taken that more seriously.
right. But the other thing, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I keep foolishly thinking they're going to stop doing that, and I shouldn't think that anymore.
and also on top of that, how about don't dig a 14-0 hole?
Yeah. Well, part of digging that 14-0 hole was wide receivers refusing to catch balls put right on their hands.
With like a blown assignment,
Yep.
for a touchdown,
Yeah.
That's what happens because then you get down double digits and the margin for error is gone.
Yeah.
And everything's got to go right. But the offense did. Hey, they had a drive in there in the fourth quarter where it was a 3-and-out.
Mm-hmm.
They had multiple chances in these losses to come back, and they just it's unbelievable. Nothing's changing.
We haven't even mentioned, by the way, Richie James had a chance to make a great catch on a 3rd and 18, that just an absolute dime put on him by Patrick Mahomes. And I
Right.
know he would have had to take a hit to hold on to the ball, but right on his hands. Those all happened in the first half. That blatant drop by Tony that you mentioned earlier on a first down that would have given him like 2nd and 1.
Well, it's just like from the receivers, stop expecting anything different. Stop
Right.
it. I mean, that's
Yeah, you're right.
If you're expecting something different from the receivers now,
Shame on you.
then
yeah.
that's what then
Yep. Shame on me
What do you
for
want?
thinking that they would stop sabotaging the team left and right
and like I don't have to make an argument for it. They do it every week.
every week.
Like this, the wide variety of mistakes and drops and errors, it's comical.
And shame on you. You kidding me?
Thank you, Gary. Let's hear Trent McDuffie. The defense, many members of the defense willing to talk and be open and honest, and so appreciated for people in there trying to get some sound to play on the radio and on TV. Here's Trent McDuffie after the game.
Down to it always. How to make that big stop or gets the big offensive play, and it just hadn't been happening over the last few weeks.
Yeah, that's just football, I can tell you these guys in here, they come to work every day, ready to go, ready to win, and they practice hard every day. And so I know we're frustrated, that things are going our way, but I know everybody in here is going to look at the film and move on to next week because, like I said, it's all about winning the next game.
Is it a challenge to you guys to know? I mean, you guys haven't lost 2 games in a row since you've been here, and to turn it around and keep pushing forward, that has to be a personal challenge to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, football's always going to come with a little adversity, but I think the guys that we have in this locker room and the coaching staff and just kind of how everything has been played out with Coach Reed, we're going to get back on track and we're going to get back to the football that you guys know.
Frustrating to see the calls going against you guys, because there were some major calls out there tonight that affected the game.
Yeah, I mean, I can really comment on it. I'm not the ref, but that's just part of the game. You can't really do nothing about that. That's out of our control, and we got to just keep playing through it, really.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
You guys feel like you're close to turning things around? I mean, obviously, these games are coming right down to the final possession.
Yeah.
How do you handle that moving forward to try to turn things around?
Yeah, I think he's just tightening up a little bit more just on the details. You know, I think we have everything we need to go be great out there, and I think just over these past few weeks, I think it's just a little detail thing. You know, certain plays, certain little alignments and stuff that get us out of whack, and they make big plays on it. So tightening up on that kind of stuff and really just honing in on the playbooks can be huge.
You know, Pat usually handles his emotions pretty well, but to see him, as mad as he was, going after the officials after the game, how do you react to that? Because, I mean, he was pissed.
I mean, yeah. I mean, everybody in here wants to win, you know, so that just comes with it, you know. When you're passionate about this game and passionate about going out there and being your best, sometimes emotions happen. But, you know, he didn't take that in here. You know, he didn't let that rub off on any of us, you know. He had his little thing, and that was that.
What's it like to have Nick Bolton back?
Man, Nick Bolton's a baller, you know, all-pro player, captain of the defense, so you love to see him back. You know, I was out there smiling with him every time, just happy that he was back playing again because he's been working week in and week out trying to get back. So being able to see him back on the field was exciting.
One more question for you. When you saw Travis lateral the ball, what were you thinking?
That's why he's a Hall of Famer. That's why he's the GOAT. I don't know anybody who has the balls enough to throw that in that situation, 2 minutes to go win the game. But he's done it before, and he keeps doing it. And, I mean, hey, that's like a little Trav special right there. So I thought it was a huge play.
Does he teach anybody to play with joy?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this week, a lot of it was about just going out there and enjoying the game again, you know, going back to, like, being kids, you know. We out here playing football, you know, what we've done our whole lives, and going out there and enjoying it. So you definitely felt that passion, you felt that energy, and I feel like that's why you saw some guys kind of get out of whack that you don't normally see because everybody was out there giving it their all. Yeah.
Was that a theme because maybe it seemed like you guys have been dealing with a lot of pressure leading up to this, maybe?
I don't know if it's pressure. I think it's just end of the season, December, getting close to the end of the year. And so things like that, you kind of want to look back and not let things overpass you, you know, not just be like, okay, we got another game, you know, this week, whatever. And really just focus in and be like, you know what, we have an opportunity to go out there and play. And that was kind of like the message they were saying. Yeah. Yep.
I wish I would have phrased that follow-up a little bit differently because there was almost a throwaway comment because we were done, and then somebody said, does Travis Kelce teach you to play with joy? And then I thought McDuffie said something interesting. He goes, well, actually, that was kind of like the theme this week, to get back to having fun and get back to playing with joy and being like kids out there. And so that's why I said, well, was that a theme this week because you guys have been dealing with pressure? Or like, why was that I should have said, why was that a point of emphasis? Because you guys weren't playing with joy? But he said that, and I thought that was interesting. Like, whoever felt it necessary to say, hey, we need to get back to just having fun out there and get back to playing with joy and not having so much pressure. And, like, you know, that was interesting to me. And so, you know.
They looked tired in the first half to me. And I saw, I can't remember who, but I saw somebody on Twitter say the same thing. And, you know, it seemed like whenever they needed a spark or a big play, it's still Travis Kelce, right? Like, and Rashee Rice has made some big ones. He also had a big, huge fumble in the game as well. But he's the one other guy that seems to be able to make some plays to give energy to the offense, to give them a spark. But the rest of the guys, not only do they not give them a spark, they just they they do things to kill the team.
Right. We will take a break back after this on WHB. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's hear a little bit more locker room sound from a few Chiefs players after they lose to Buffalo 20-17. Here is linebacker Willie Gay Jr.
It's hard, but it is what it is. Got to move on.
In the second half, y'all shut them down pretty well. But just what was hurting y'all in that first half with their runs and throws?
It's the little things, man. I feel like, in my opinion, it's nothing crazy. It's one big play here and there, just like last week to me. And you got to tighten up the loose screws, man, because it hurts you when it hurts you. And when you put the offense back 14-0, we try not to put them behind the ball like that, behind the scoreboard like that, but we just try to help them out in the second half, and I think we did good, but it just didn't go our way. So
Talk about that last play, the play with the offsides call for the team. What was the feeling? What did you see on that?
A historic play that got wiped out. I don't want to say nothing about the refs. Nothing. Just a call that they made, and we got to live with it. So.
Y'all had 7 penalties today. How do you fix that? How do you fix the 7 penalties today?
On defense?
Just the team.
It's part of the game, man. They called a holding call on a cornerback jamming at the line of scrimmage. It's only so much you can do as players now in today's football. So you're too aggressive, they throw a flag. If you ain't aggressive enough, you get a big play. So it's like you got to try to be in a gray area, and hopefully they don't throw a flag on you. But it didn't go our way today in that aspect. So.
This is uncharted territory.
How was it like to have Nick back today?
Oh, it was a lot of fun, man. Seeing him out there leading us, in the middle of everything once again. It's a lot of fun seeing him back out there, getting that action, man, getting some tackles, get the feeling of the game back. So definitely looking forward to keep going with him.
You guys had some guys who weren't used to being on the field out there. It looked like there was some miscommunication on that first touchdown they got to James Cook.
It happens, my man. It is just part of the game.
How do you deal with coming back after back-to-back losses? It's something this team's not used to.
Yeah. So you just got to suck it up and keep moving on. Stay positive as much as possible. Keep everyone else positive. Keep everyone else uplifted, and just keep chopping wood, baby. Keep it going.
You're the vibrant personality, but you always have the calmness. It seems like you have the coolest head when you're out there. What do you tell the guys when they're in those heated moments, tensions rising?
Me personally, man, I just say have fun. When you're down on the scoreboard, when you're up by 30, whatever it is, have fun, man, and let the good Lord make everything else happen. You only can control so much with the refs and how things go, on the field. So you just gotta have fun. And that's what I tell the guys. Play with swag.
Pat's usually pretty level-headed. To see him go after the officials like that and be as mad as he was, what's your reaction?
Hey, man, it was a big call, and we hate it happen. It was on their side. They was happy it happened. It's part of the game. So
this team's usually not, back up against the wall for the 1C. Usually in control of your own destiny.
Yeah.
How do you handle this moving forward?
Hey, just keep going forward. Don't look at that. We ain't worry about that right now. We just got to win next week. So,
I guess.
Thanks, Willie.
Man, after that, Willie gets, where's Nate at? Tell him to stop asking questions. Jake, you missed. There's some issues between Nate Buchanan and Willie Gay, which I had to smooth over repeatedly. So.
I've been following.
Mm-hmm.
D-Wags asked if anybody asked in the locker room if the Chiefs were doubly frustrated. Maybe I could have asked Willie Gay that.
No, Steven was doubly frustrated. Let me tell you. I say, look, I was getting what I could get. There wasn't a whole lot of players that were running to microphones after the game.
I think this is doubly frustrating because you finally got to the 3 guys in your bullpen that you wanted to.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't get doubly frustrated, but it is frustrating.
That applies to this team right now?
Yes. Yes, it does.
I want to say this. I just wonder, I don't think it was calculated, but in a weird way, I think that Mahomes' temper tantrum is like a good example of leadership because it's taking some of the attention away from how bad these wide receivers have screwed the team all year. like from a national perspective, all anybody's talking about is Mahomes' temper tantrum. It's like taking a lot of pressure off of those guys Sometimes coaches will do that, let's distract everybody from my team's complete failure, put all the pressure on me. I don't know if Mahomes was trying to do that, but it seems like that's what's happening.
Mark Boruch, you're suggesting that the Chiefs ask Kadarius Toney to get his eyes checked. So it seems like depth perception could be an issue for him.
I mean, it might be true. Dude was lined up 1.5 yards ahead of all the other.
I mean, if I was Mahomes, I'd just look at what the hell? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?
I told Jake I get mad enough at the refs making bad calls. I'm not gonna gripe when they make the right call. I mean, what are we doing now?
Who knows? Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.